Students, welcome again to the English class. And now let's continue our 7th chapter, Evans tries an O level. And in today's session, we will read whether governor with the help of police officers become successful or not in arresting Evans again. So now let's continue. A fast approaching siren wailed to its crescendo. Crescendo means gradually increasing the sound. The great doors of the prison yard were pushed back and a white police car squealed to a jerky halt beside them. So halt means to stop and squealed means to make sound, to make a long high sound. And then there was a sound of the siren. It was making sound and the sound of the siren was increasing. Gradually it was increasing and the doors of the prison were opened, were pushed back and white police car stopped there while making a sound. Detective Superintendent Carter swung himself out of the passenger seat and saluted the governor. And out came the Detective Superintendent Carter. So Detective Superintendent Carter came out of the passenger seat, came out of the car, and he saluted to the governor. "What the hell's happening, sir?" And turning to McLeary, "Christ, who has hit him?" Then he saluted the governor and then he wanted to know what was happening there. And while he saw McLeary, when he turned to the McLeary, he got worried and at once he started asking who had hit him. But McLeary cut across whatever explanation the governor might have given. Elsfield Way officer. Now, still now, governor had not explained anything, had not said anything. But McLeary cut across. He spoke at once. Elsfield Way officer. "I know where Evans." Then he said that he is on the way to Elsfield. Evans is on the way to Elsfield, and he said he knew where Evans was. He was breathing heavily and leaned for support against the side of the car, where the imprint of his hand was left in tarnished crimson. Tarnished means stained, and crimson means rich red color that was turning purple. Now he was breathing heavily, he was not able to breathe properly, and he was also leaning, he was bending in before the car. He wanted to take the support of the car, and also imprints of his hand were left in the tarnished crimson. They were imprinting there, they were making the signs there, and it was in the red color. Red color means here they were full of blood. In bewilderment, Carter looked to the governor for guidance. What? Now, Carter became bewilderment. He was confused, he was puzzled, and he looked to the governor and he wanted to get the guidance from governor. "Take him with you if you think he'll be all right. He's the only one who seems to know what's happening." Then governor told him that the governor told the officer Carter that he could take McLeary with him as he knew what was happening and where Evans was. Carter opened the back door and held McLeary inside, and within a few seconds the car leaped away in a spurt of gravel. Gravels means small stones, spurt means spray. And then Carter opened the back door and he helped McLeary to get inside the car, and within a few seconds the car jumped away in the spurt of gravel, and as it went, leaving the stones back, or we can say the car went at a high speed. The car left the place at a very high speed. Elsfield Way, McLeary had said, and there it was staring up at the governor from the last few lines of the German text. Now, German governor was thinking that McLeary had said he had gone to the Elsfield Way, and then he looked at the last few lines of the German text, that was the paper that was inside the question paper. From Elsfield Way, drive to the Haddington roundabout, where, yes, of course, the examinations board was in Elsfield Way, and someone from the board must have been involved in the escape plan from the very beginning, the question paper itself, the correction slip. Now, as he read the last few lines of the German text in the question paper, he found that it was written there that from the Elsfield Way they would drive to the Haddington. And then he suddenly remembered that it was the way towards the examination board, as the examination board was in Elsfield Way, and now he understood that someone from the examination boards had helped Evans. The governor turned to Jackson and Stephens. I don't need to tell you what's happened, do I? Then governor turned to Jackson and Stephens, who were the prison officers, and he told them, I think I should not tell you what had happened, and as you know very well, everything has happened before you. His voice sounded almost calm in its scathing contempt. Scathing contempt means showing severe disrespect, or we can say in the insulting way. And his words, his voice, it seemed that he was talking to Stephens and Jackson in a very insulting way. He was insulting them. And which one of you two morons was it who took Evans for a nice little walk to the main gates and waved him bye bye? Morons means very stupid. And then he asked both of them that one of them was who had taken to Evans to the main gates and waved him bye bye. It was me, sir, stammered Stephens. Just like you told me, sir, I could have sworn. What? Just like I told you? You say, what the hell? Now, Stephen said he stammered, he mumbled, he was not able to speak properly, and he said that it was me who had taken to Evans to the main gate, but I had told only I had done so because you had ordered me. But governor said that he had not ordered when you rang, sir, and told me to. When was that? The governor's voice was a whiplash now. Now, he said that the governor said that he had not rung, and as Stephen said that when he had rung only at that time he had taken Evans to the main gate, but governor asked him when it was that he had not rung him. He had not called up to Stephens. You know, sir, about 20 past 11 just before. Then he said that it was the time 20 past 11. It means 11:20. At 11:20 he had called up to him. You blithering idiot, man, it wasn't me who rang you. Don't you realize? But what was the use? He had used the telephone at that time, but only to try unsuccessfully once more to get through to the examinations board. But now he called him completely idiot person, and he said that it was not me, he had not rung, it was the false call. But then he realized that it was of no use now. He himself had used the telephone at that time, and also he wanted to try to get through to the examinations board. Now he shook his head in a growing despair and turned on the senior prison officer. As for you, Jackson, how long have you been pretending you have got a brain A? Well, I'll tell you something, Jackson, your skull's empty. Absolutely empty. Then he was in despair, he was hopeless, and then he turned to the senior prison officer, Jackson. And then he asked him that you feel that you pretend that you have a brain, you are a minded person, but now I tell you that your skull is empty, totally empty now. It was Jackson who had spent 2 hours in Ivan's cell the previous evening, and it was Jackson who had confidently reported that there was nothing hidden away there, nothing at all. Because Jackson had Jackson had spent 2 hours in Ivan's cell one day before, and he had confidently reported that there was nothing hidden inside the cell. And yet Evans had somehow managed to conceal not only a false beard, a pair of spectacles, a dog collar, and all the rest of his clerical paraphernalia. Paraphernalia means the things. But also some sort of weapon with which he had given McCleary such a terrible blow across the head, or as he had reported that there is nothing inside the cell, but Evans had anyhow somehow managed to conceal, to hide something just like false beard, pair of spectacles, dog collar, and all the rest of clerical things. He had managed to hide all these things, and also he had concealed one weapon with which he had given a terrible blow to McCleary. A prison van backed alongside, but the governor made no immediate move. Then, at the same time, a prison van came behind, but the governor did not move immediately. He looked down again at the last line of the German. Again, he looked at the German text that was inside the question paper. Then he read to the Haddington roundabout, where you go straight over and make your way to New Graben, where on earth, new something, new grave. Never heard of it. Now he started again reading the paper, and it was written that after Haddington, he had to take straight road, and from there he could get the way to New Graben. And he started thinking where the New Graben was on the earth. Never heard of it. There was a war grave, but he had never heard of New Graben. He had heard of war grave somewhere near Reading, but no, it was probably a code word, or and then it hit him. Newbury. God, yes, Newbury was a pretty big sort of place, but now he thought that it was a code word, and after thinking, he came to know that it might be a place of Newbury. It was a very famous place where he would have gone. He rapped out his orders to the driver. He rapped means here. Then he said very quickly in a loud voice, he gave orders to the driver. St. Aldate's police station and step on it. Take Jackson and Stephens here, and when you get there, ask for Bell. Chief Inspector Bell. Got that. Then he ordered to the driver, as the prison van had already come, he gave orders to the driver that he had to take Jackson and Stephens to the St. Aldate's police station, and when they would reach there, then they had to ask for Bell. Bell was the chief inspector. He leaped the stairs to his office three at a time, got Bell on the phone immediately, and put the facts before him. Then he went quickly. He took 3 steps of the stairs at one time. Then he called the called. There was Bell on the phone, and he told him the whole situation. He told the chief inspector whole situation, what had happened in the jail. We'll get him, sir, said Bell. We'll get him with a bit of luck. But Bell assured him that they will get him, they will arrest Evans, but also he said that with a bit of luck, with a sum of luck. The governor sat back and lit a cigarette. Ye gods, what a beautifully laid plan it had all been. What a clever fellow Evans was. Now, governor sat back on the chair and he lighted a cigarette and started thinking. And he thought that it was really a very beautiful plan that was made by Evans, and Evans was really very clever person. But careless, leaving that question paper behind. But also he said at the same time, although he was very clever, but he was very much careless, as he had left the question paper inside the cell. But then they all made their mistakes somewhere along the line. Well, almost all of them. Also he said that whenever he was arrested by the police, it means he had always been careless. He had made many of the mistakes. And that's why very shortly Mr. Clever Evans would be back inside doing his once more. And now he was very sure that once more he would be arrested and he would be brought back to the cell. The phone on his desk erupted in a strident burst. Strident means very loudly. Again there was a phone call, and Superintendent Carter informed him that McCleary had spotted Evans driving off along Elsfield Way. And it was a call from Superintendent Carter, and he informed that McCleary had noticed Evans when he was driving off along Elsfield Way. They had got the number of the car all right and had given chase immediately. And then they had noted down the number of the car and they had started following the car, but had lost him at the Haddington roundabout, and he must have doubled back into the city. But they said that they were not able to arrest Evans, they were not able to follow him properly because they had lost him at the Haddington roundabout. No, said the governor quietly. No, he's on his way to Newbury. He explained his reasons for believing so and left it at that. Then governor said quietly that no, now he would not be in the Haddington. He would be surely in Newbury, and also he explained the reason why he was saying so, as he had earlier found the code word from the question paper, and he was very much sure that he would be on the way to Newbury. It was a police job now, not his. He was just another good for a giggle, gullible governor, that was all. Giggle means he had become just another good for a giggle means he had become a laughter before others, and he was easily deceived by, he was treated by the others. Now he thought that it was a police job. Already he was treated by someone, by Evans, and now he didn't want to interfere in the case more. Now it was a police job. By the way, Carter, I hope you managed to get McCleary to the hospital all right. Then he asked the Superintendent Carter that he would have managed to get McCleary to the hospital as McCleary was bleeding very much. Yes, he is in the Redcliffe now. Then he said that he was in Redcliffe, really groggy. Groggy means he was very much weak. He was when we got to the examination offices and they rang for the ambulance from there. And then he said here that when they had went to the examination board office, he was feeling very much weak, so from there they had called the ambulance. The governor rang the Redcliffe a few minutes later and asked for the accident department. Then governor rang to the Redcliffe after a few minutes, and then he started asking for the accident department as he wanted to know about McCleary. McCleary, you say? Yes, he is a parson. Then accidental department said that you are saying about, you are asking about McCleary. Then governor said that yes, he is a parson, he is a priest. He wanted to know about McCleary. I don't think there is any. Yes, there is. You will find one of your ambulances picked up him from Elsfield way about. But now the department in Redcliffe said that there is no one there is no person of the name McCleary. But governor said that you will find one of your that surely he would be there, as they had sent their ambulance to pick him from Elsfield way. Oh, that. Yes, we sent an ambulance all right, but when we got there, the fellow had gone. No one seemed to know where he was, just vanished, not a sign. But they informed that we had sent our ambulance there, but there was no one, there was no fellow. Already he had gone from there. There was not a sign of a person who was hurt, who was bleeding. But the governor was no longer listening, and the truth seemed to hit him with an almost physical impact somewhere in the back of his neck. A quarter of an hour later, they found the Reverend St. McCleary securely bound and gagged in his study in Broad Street. He had been there, he said, since 8:15 a.m. when two men had called and. But now, actually, it was not Evans, it was no McCleary who was bleeding. And after they came to know that when the ambulance had gone to take the person from there, there was no one, there was not a sign of a person. Then after an hour, it was found that Reverend St. McCleary, the priest, was securely bound and gagged in his own study in the Broad Street. The examinee who had come to take the exam was not actually McCleary. He was not my priest McCleary, it was someone else. And the McCleary told them that he had been there in his own house in the Broad Street since 8:15 a.m. when two men had called. And now it is clear from here that the examinee was not the real priest, it was no McCleary, and the person who was bleeding, maybe he was Evans or someone else. So now we will come to know about it in the next class. Okay, students. Now we will okay, students. Now we will continue our chapter in the next class. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.